The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik. Welcome to show number 559. That's right, 559 weekends at least. We have been bringing super guests all the way around, all day long, here at stewart.com/radio. That's the website where you can see the show. You can actually see YouTube videos. You can access show archives from hundreds of shows ago simply by going to stewart.com/radio. Super guests abound today. It's going to be interesting, might even be a little bit of fun. And we're going to first start with Brad Countryman. The company is Countryman Homes. Brad, welcome to the show.
How are we doing?
Brad Countryman. What a great name. We're doing great, Brad, and even better that you're here with us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Let's tell people about Countryman Homes.
So Countryman Homes, we're with Keller Williams Southwest down in Sugar Land, and that's really where we like to play. So we have been in business since 2021. We deal with everybody from first-time home buyers to the last home that they'll own. So we deal with a lot of retirees as well as those first-time home buyers.
Well, so many things strike me as I think about what you're doing there in real estate. But first of all, you have a super name. Countryman is your last name, and I'm just going to assume that helps you in your real estate adventures.
Well, it does, but it's helped me in all of my adventures. So all of my adventures have come with me being just me. It's Countryman.
Well said, Mr. Countryman. So first of all, here you are in real estate. Now, at this point in time, it's an exciting market. Are you helping, Brad, more buyers or more sellers at this point in time?
Funny you should ask that. So the year started off in January with a lot of sellers. Right now, within the last week, I've gotten a lot of calls from buyers, right? So we're heading up into the summer. So summer months, of course, are big move times. And sellers, buyers, it doesn't matter. I treat them all like family. So that piece doesn't matter to me. I just want to make sure that they're all taken care of.
And right now, let's say, you mentioned already Sugar Land, and for those listening outside of Houston, that's kind of south, what would we say, southwest of the Houston, the center of the city. But also, tell us about some of the other markets that are around in the Sugar Land area that you're helping people.
So my bread and butter, my backyard is Fulshire, Katy, Sugar Land, Richmond, Rosenberg, all the way down to Needville, Wharton, really this whole southwest corridor.
It's a pretty big backyard.
It is a big backyard. Yeah, well, that's what I like to find for everybody.
There you go. It's super awesome. And as far as the market right now, it sounds like it's busy. If someone is a buyer and they said, hey, Brad, I want something with a little bit of elbow room, which one of the areas would you send them to, and what's available right now? Is there a lot of inventory, or what's happening?
So inventory, there's a lot of inventory right now. So as of today, about 4.5 months of inventory. Then if they're wanting room, they're wanting space, then we're looking in Fulshire. We're looking in Rosenberg. We're looking a little further south and west. I apologize. Beasley is another good place that I love. And those are the ones that I personally will play in. It's just the ones that have all of the land.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And that's one of the things I think people, when they move to Houston, do you get people that reach out to you from other states and other cities, and they say, hey, I saw you on the internet, and your name rings a bell? Are you serving people that come into the
yes, I guess is the short answer. So I'm a Midwest boy. So I was born and raised in St. Louis, lived in San Antonio for high school, Nebraska for college, a year in Minnesota, 8 years in Minnesota, 1 year in Michigan, 12 years down here. So my sphere is like a big corridor, I-35 corridor. So that's where I live. That's where I play. And those are all of my people. We have family up in Nebraska, and I get phone calls from all over.
Yeah, you have an interesting background. The little bit of research I've done on you. Let's tell people, what was it about real estate that inspired you to say, hey, I want to be a realtor?
So real estate in general is something that I'm able to help out other people, and occasionally in certain aspects, they're breaking generational things that they haven't been able to break out of. So renting forever. Parents, grandparents have always rented. I've got a client right now that we're getting them into their first house, and they're the first ones to break that generational ownership, right? So building wealth. That's a huge piece for especially this family. So that has a big impact on me. So being able to step people into the process, make it as easy as possible, and really guide them along the way, especially when it comes to the negotiation, because that's where all of the pieces that can feel overwhelming really need to be, hey, let's look at line item A, B, and C, and let's attack it one at a time.
And of course, you are a family man as well.
Mm-hmm.
You have children, and that's one of the things on your Facebook that I saw.
That's right. I've got 3 littles, 14, 11, and 10. Surprised I remembered all that.
It looks like you were really searching there.
I need to go back in the archives.
Yeah.
But yeah, that keeps me busy. My eldest plays football. My middle is my girl, and we just finished up softball season. She's also an actress, so she's got a talent agent that we're taking that whole step in. And then my youngest is just my youngest. He loves video games and playing sports.
Well, one of the things also, before real estate, realtors, everybody loves pets, most everybody, dogs, cats, but you had a lot of experience in helping dogs and animals. Give us a word on that. And at this point in time, as if some of us have a dog, especially a dog, what are some of the things we should think about to keep them out of trouble and keep them healthy?
Keep them
because
out of trouble.
Have experience.
Keep them healthy. So, yeah, I used to be a vet tech for 9 years. Started in specialty clinics at Blue Pearl up in Minnesota. We did a lot of great work there. So that was mainly all end-of-life scenarios. So we were helping people with the transition. A lot of cancer, did chemo on dogs and cats, which was very interesting. Getting something to hold still for 30 minutes is difficult. So that was fun and interesting, and we got to help people along with that too, right? So this heart piece came into it. But if you've got dogs and cats in your house, there's loads of different ways to, one, keep your house nice and clean the way you want it, but to also just be there for them as they're also a part of your family. They are what some people refer to as fur babies.
Many people do. In fact, I think that's one of the favorite terms realtor use to express when they talk about their dogs, especially.
That's right. So the dogs, I'm a dog guy, right? So I've had dogs. I love dogs. I've got a tiny little Chihuahua right now, and he is a mess. But we do everything we love. His full name is Pico.
We only have a few minutes, but I mean.
His name is Pico de Gallo, Alejandro, Inigo Montoya, you killed my father, prepare to die, countryman.
Okay, well, let's show first. And I had to ask, didn't I?
You did.
So meanwhile, back to real estate. So as far as, let's say, so someone's in the market, and again, the Southwest area, we're talking Sugar Land. You got a lot of tremendous neighborhoods. You're helping people even in areas where they could spread out and have some room. But you're even getting around to the Katy. By the way, what's going on in Katy lately?
So Katy and specifically Fulshire is my favorite place. So the boom that's happened in Katy and specifically Fulshire, which is just a little south, is amazing. So the growth that's happened there, they've been the highest or fastest growing community in the nation for at least the past 6 months, if not the past year. And they don't show any signs of stopping. And so I love that area, not just for homeowners, but for my commercial clients, and trying to get everybody into that specific spot, which is going to create that equity a lot faster.
It's a beautiful area. And we're saying it's growing. In fact, I heard someone at church just moved from Nashville and bought a home in Fulshire, and he calls it Fulshire.
Oh, yeah, he's totally wrong. Knock it off with that.
So let the word go forth It's full shear.
It's full shear.
Not full
Not
shear.
not full shear. We're not at a barber, which I haven't seen in a while.
Yes, indeed. But I thought that was interesting that someone would even come up with that. But that's a new one.
That's right.
So that's awesome. So in the meantime, as you look ahead, we're approaching the middle of the year in just a couple months. How do you see things play out here for the rest of the year, real estate wise?
So let me get my crystal ball out. But I think that the summer's going to be great. I really honestly think the summer's going to be great. So I think buyers are getting accustomed to the interest rates. I think everyone sees it as it's not going anywhere big anytime soon. And the people that have to move are the people that have to move. So the diamonds and the diapers and the deployments and the divorces, those are the people that are consistently moving regardless of the market. So Houston is special in that we are constantly growing, constantly moving. And so as opposed to other smaller markets around the nation. So I feel blessed, quite honestly, to be able to help those people out.
We're talking with Brad Countryman. Countryman Homes is the company. Brad, before we close this segment, what else do you want people to know?
So we're at Keller Williams Southwest. I'm on the leadership council there as well, which a big piece of that is KW Cares. So we are going out into the community. We're helping everybody we can. So this April 19th, Saturday, is going to be Shredding Hunger. So you bring out all of your shred documents and a canned food item, and we're going to feed East Fort Bend Food Pantry with all of those items. It's right after tax day, so you can bring them on out. The next thing we have is on May 8th, which is Thursday, and it's called Red Day. So at Keller Williams, internationally, all of the Keller Williams come together, and we go out into our community, and we serve them. So we're going to be serving Neary's Promise, a local charity there in North Richmond, which is just serving the community with the underserved.
And Brad, let's tell people how they can reach you.
You can reach me at all of my socials at Countryman Homes. So we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube. Check out my fireside chats there. You can call me 612-670-9920. And you can hit me up at countryman@kw.com. 612-670-9920.
And I'm guessing we already gave your dog a lot of attention, but I bet the kids are listening too. Do you want to say hello to them?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Carter and Stella and Mason. I love you guys.
Thanks, Brad, for being with us.
Thank you so much.
As we continue, let's talk to Dasha Moore Wright. Her company is Vaughn Realty. Hey, Dasha, welcome to the show.
Hello. I'm glad to be here.
Well, it's good to see you. And it's also great, Vaughn Realty. First of all, let's tell people about Vaughn Realty.
Vaughn Realty is awesome. We are down in the Kemah area. We are Vaughn Realty & Co., and we strive to provide knowledge and care for each of our clients to the best of our ability and build our relationships beyond transactions.
And you mentioned something, the city you named, or maybe it's a town, you mentioned Kemah.
I did mention Kemah. That's where our office is currently located.
And for people here in Houston, we've heard of Kemah. Some of us have been there and explored. But let's tell people, especially those that are listening from afar, where is Kemah in relationship to Houston, and what's it all about? It sounds interesting.
Okay, so Kemah is on the southeast side of Houston, and it's right on the water, so it gives a lot of variety in what you can do down there. There's lots of entertainment. I personally am in the LaPorte area, which is the city by the bay. So we're right on the water as well.
I thought San Francisco was the city by the bay, but there's
Not
another
in Texas.
So this is why the show's so great, because we learn stuff almost every moment, right, Dasha?
Yes, for sure.
The city by the bay.
City by the bay.
I left my heart in Kemah, something like that, right? So in the meantime, how is the real estate market? And just for people for a reference, this again is the southeast-ish?
Yes, this is the southeast area of like I said, it's on the bay leading down to Galveston. We're about 45 minutes south to head to Galveston.
How's business down there now?
Business in the area is great. Everything's growing. We have lots of new builds going on in the League City area, which is just south of Kemah. And in the LaPorte area where I'm at, we have just the great hometown feel. If you're looking for a small town, we're not building new, but it has that awesome feel that people look for and strive for in their community.
And at this moment, are you helping more buyers or more sellers?
So usually I would say more buyers, and I'm kind of right in the middle right now.
You're at a 50-50, huh?
Yeah, I'm at a bit of a 50-50, and I kind of like that. It's new to me to have an equal parts going on. I have a lot of interest coming up that's going to lead more to buyers for the summer, I think.
So many things going on. I think it's fascinating for any real estate professional as I think about what you do and all the tools that you need to do what you do, to be equipped to help buyers and sellers at the same time. And every family and every individual is different.
They are. So everybody's different and everybody has different concerns. I find that everybody's really concerned right now with how long it's taken to sell a home. And I think really in HAR showing we sold, almost 7,500 homes last month. And so we really are selling even though we're coming into that buyer's market. We're close to having the inventory to be a true buyer's market. And I think we hopefully we'll see this summer, but like we said, that's take a crystal ball that I don't have.
Well, when you mentioned homes on the market for any length of time and maybe even a bit longer, one of the things I noticed, because I look at property just for a variety of reasons, I'm thinking about maybe I'll buy something here or there, but also I check the markets out. And as a potential buyer, even though it says 30 days or 40, I might have already looked at that home and it's been on there a year. So buyer, kind of beware, because what are the rules around that, if you could share? I mean, because it's not always what it seems, right? You know what I'm saying?
That's correct. I don't make it a practice to take homes off the market and relist them at new price points or to change that. But sometimes it happens, and then you show a less days on the market. But if you look a little deeper, you'll see that you can see the full transaction history and how long it's actually been on the market. It's a ploy, I think, to get more interest. We all try different things to build interest in our properties, but I think steadfast and steady is the way to go. And you keep marketing your property in different ways and do open houses, and you're going to get the business you need, the traction you need to see those buyers come in and purchase.
I think the other thing it says is to have the right real estate professional, because as you guys, if you're helping me buy a home, you're going to be able to give me the true information. So yeah, maybe it said it was on the market for 55 days, but then you investigate as we're beginning to negotiate, and you can give me the real scoop, right?
Correct. With your realtor, they have more access to the listing information, which provides the actual days on the market, not just the current market days. So that helps you know what the house has been doing and sitting there. And you can ask the questions as a real estate agent. I always ask, why has it been sitting there so long? And investigate that, because it could be a problem with the home or it could just be the market.
That's why everything is always interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as far as real estate, what brought you into the profession to begin with? What was the attraction where you said, man, I need to be in the real estate world?
Well, I stayed at home for about 10 years with my daughter, and we got to an age where she was ready to be more independent and I was bored. So I had a history with my background in land planning and surveying, and thought, you know what, I always really liked real estate, and I like looking at the market, and I like to negotiate. So why not see what I can do? And it gave me the freedom as a stay-at-home mom that I had, being able to have that flexibility with my child. So I still needed a little flexibility, and it kept me flexible and provided a new career. So, 10 years, you got to start over.
So you have an experience and knowledge about land and surveying.
Yes.
That has to be fascinating. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's great. So what that did for me was I actually got my degree from Sam Houston as in design and development. So I went into drafting, and that's how I ended up in land planning and plat recording. So I know what goes into those surveys and getting the plats recorded with the cities and counties. It helped me learn a lot about development of communities and what goes into them and how drainage works, and a lot of other aspects that maybe not every realtor can offer their client. So when I look at a property, I might have a little more insight into the land planning part of it.
I would want to have you with me looking at properties because it's so important to see the way the water, and you have that knowledge.
Yes.
Whereas another realtor might say, well, it looks good to me. Or we'll find out, or we'll, right? Or you can have an inspection, all that, right?
Yes.
But
always have an inspection.
Always have an inspection, but you could actually look at it and kind of see some things that the normal average bear would not.
That's correct. So a lot of it is just looking at the overall neighborhood too. And I think we get so site specific sometimes that people don't look at what's around your home you're looking at. It affects your house and your yard and the things that go on there.
We're talking with Dasha Moore Wright, and she couldn't be more right. You've heard that before, I bet.
I use it every day.
You do.
Because how could I not be the more right realtor for you?
I beat you to it, Dasha, right? So in the meantime, that sounds fascinating. And by the way, I always say with surveying, George Washington was a big surveyor, and he loved surveying. Even to I think one of his last days, that's what he was doing out there in Mount Vernon.
Yes.
Fascinating. So in the meantime, as you look ahead, what are some of the things that you're doing, let's say from social media, as you get people to be interested in the Kemah and the area there, a little bit north of Galveston and all around that bay?
So I think I do relationship marketing. That's where I build my clients, and it has paid off. It's taken a little while. I've been a realtor for almost 6 years, and I'll tell you, if what I have going on right now is any foresight into this summer, it's going to be amazing. So I do a lot of community involvement, and I get out in the community. I make sure to, share that with my socials so that people can see what I like to do, how I love my community, and what's in our community to offer. People don't know that LaPorte, Texas has a beach.
I didn't know.
So you can do a lot of things there that people don't understand and don't know, and it brings in more business and more clients and people who are looking for that feel of those areas to you to say, hey, she knows what's going on in this community and how to get involved, and hey, what kind of homes are there? Maybe I want to live in that area.
So as far as all the waterfront places or places, not necessarily waterfront, places near water, like Kemah, is Kemah one of the more popular ones? And can we find a home near the water or maybe even a condo? They have that?
You can. Kemah doesn't have quite as much waterfront because they do a lot of business on their waterfront. So there are a few, and they come on the market every now and then. I would recommend the LaPorte area has more waterfront than people think. There's beautiful townhomes and condos right on the bay where you can get that beautiful morning sunset. I'm sorry, that's not a sunset. Get the morning sunrise and watch the dolphins swim by.
Dolphins?
Yes, they're in the bay.
So many things we're learning, Josh. I'm thinking we had to go to California or the Pacific Ocean to see dolphins.
No. And even on Morgan's Point, there's lots of waterfront there as well.
Sounds good to me. Dasha Moore Wright. Dasha, let's tell people how they can reach out to you.
All right. You can always reach me by phone at 281-731-6181 or email at Dasha, DAUSHA, @vaughnrealty.net. And always on social as well. I'm on Facebook and Instagram mostly, so that's where you should catch me. 281-731-6181.
Thanks for being with us, Dasha.
Thank you.
Well, it's time now to talk to Megan Maloney, Tammy McCall with Johnson Development. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Woo! Thank you.
So here we are. Tammy, you were on the show not that long ago, so let's give a quick announcement of why you're back in such short order, and who is Megan Maloney anyway?
All right. Yes, I'm here because I'm special. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm
That's
here
true.
because right after I was on last time, then I made an announcement that I was leaving, retiring, and moving back to Oklahoma. And we have since hired Megan Maloney, and she is the new Tammy.
Those, again, as people have said, big shoes to fill. Megan Maloney is here. So, Megan, let's say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
And you are now with Johnson Development. How exciting is that?
So exciting. I love Johnson Development. I've been with them for almost 3 years, and I can honestly say I found my home.
And right now, as you prepare to take over Tammy's role, what's the training like there, or I should say the fun like? Because I know there's a big element of fun. What's that like?
Chaotic. This woman works so many hours. She emails at 3 a.m. No, it's been a lot of fun following her and going to all of the events, meeting a lot of new realtors. But she is just fun all around, Monday through Friday, Saturdays and Sundays, 8 to 5. Tammy McCall.
Well,
I wish it was 8 to 5.
Well, that's right.
Yeah, that's true.
And so your whole life is going to change, Tammy, because you have been attached to, embedded in the role of representing Johnson Development for how many years now?
13 years on
Okay.
the 16th.
And for a regular person, that would have been 50 years because you really work it really hard. So in the meantime, I'm kind of curious that when you move, you're going to move to where?
I'm moving back to the Tulsa, Oklahoma area.
A great area. And when you go there, is it going to be like, oh, what do I do now? Because you were so active right here. I mean, there's going to be like a shock, I'm guessing.
I think I'm going to sleep for about a month, and then I'll figure it out from there. But I'm not at all concerned. I have a lot of connections there, and just have a lot of different things. My head's already going crazy with different ideas and things that I know I can do there to make a difference.
Because I think all of us that have a healthy life attitude, everything's an adventure, and your new adventure is about to begin.
Yes.
And I'm even as today, here you are on the radio talking about it. So Megan, when Tammy leaves, now how you going? What are some of the first things you're going to do with the job? Have you planned this out? Have you laid an outline, or how are you going to do it?
First, I'm going to cry. She's been my little pacifier
She's
for the
fun, right?
last.
Yeah, a good
she's
friend.
so fun. But we've been tag teaming, and we often tell each other that we would be a good team if she were to stick around. But yeah, no, I have the next couple months planned out, and then I'm also going to continue on some of the stuff that she's had planned for many years that she started as a tradition, and so keep it going.
And let's tell people, Megan, about Johnson Development, just in case they're like, okay, I'm hearing the name, I think I know about it, but let's tell people about the company.
So Johnson Development, we have about 20 communities. We are now out of state as well. We're not just in Texas. I'm going to be working the South region. I'm going to have Cross Creek West Ranch, Jordan Ranch, Harvest Green, Sienna, and the newest, the George. We just took over 1,500 acres from the George Ranch Foundation, and we are starting that next year. We just broke ground.
And where is that?
That is going to be southwest, right in Richmond, down 59.
I think one of the fascinating things about any kind of development company is how vision is so important. And you're already been with the company a while, so I guess you get a feel for what a company like Johnson Development does and the vision it takes, because you're looking ahead years.
A long time.
And it's almost like you need to see into the future, but really it's all educated and calculated guesses. I mean,
down to the science. Yeah, they look at everything. But one thing about Johnson that truly just takes it away is that they don't just develop and leave, they stay, and they have a lifestyle director in each community that puts on a lot of the events, and I mean it's totally interactive with everybody. They care about conserving the trees and making it a beautiful place and not just building and leaving.
there's so many things to take into consideration. That's a big deal coming up. And then Tammy, in the role of training Megan here, I mean, there's been a little bit of training. She's been familiar with the company. What are some of the things that you wanted to make sure, some of the first priorities that you need to learn to do your job versus the job she used to have? What are some of those things?
Yeah, I think the number one priority was making sure that she got to meet our realtor community and understand the impact that they have on Johnson Development. Not saying she didn't already understand that, but I think it takes it to a different level when you're out there doing it. So she's already seen by being at these events. We've done a lot of events together, and now she's learning the back end of how to pull those events together so that it's a win-win for everybody. The realtor community is our bread and butter. We have 85% sales in almost every community in the Houston area. So we are going to take care of our realtors, and she's learning that. She has a passion and a drive for that as well. Also, we are celebrating, this will tell you a lot about Johnson Development, in that we are celebrating 50 years this month, 50 years in the business. So we're very proud of that. And so she gets to be a big part of that celebration as well.
And as you mentioned, realtor communities, certainly everywhere you go, they'll say, well, our market is different, and it is. But the Houston realtor community, number one, there are so many realtors. So, and it's a very interesting community. It's a lot of people that are very good at their jobs, all the diversity that we have. So the realtor community here is different than other places, and it's also massive.
Very.
How do you get your head around that when you've been doing the role for so many years? How do you make sure, man, we got so many realtors, how do I make sure I touch their lives or let them know about what we're doing?
Yeah.
What are some of the steps for that?
I think a big part of it is just getting out. I mean, the exposure, the meetings, the one-on-ones, the team meetings, the office meetings, the events, just everything that we can do to just submerge her into that realtor community is what we're doing right now. She has done so many events in our little bit of training time that it's been a little bit overwhelming. But now, like I said, we got to learn the back end of it and just make sure that our realtors don't see us go away. We want to have the presence that we've always had. Social media is going to continue to be huge. We'll continue working with Salita Patterson, Salita Media, because she's huge.
She's in here right now.
She's here
We're
now.
looking
I
at
see
her,
her over there. But yeah, I mean, she does it all for us. She really helps us to be able to have the impact, and social media is everything. I mean, that's how you reach so many people.
Give us a quick word, Tammy, about the selection process, because you, again, did such a good job, are still doing it the last couple of weeks, I guess, but how did you choose Megan? How did she get this role? Because it's a big role, and I'm sure a lot of people, I mean, I might wanted to apply, I don't know, but a lot of people wanted this desirable position.
I think that's why we stayed within, because the number of people that wanted to apply were going to be outrageously huge. But she has been with the company, as she said, I think almost 3 years now. So I think the fact that she's already been there, she's on the same floor as our marketing team. She's had interactions with our marketing team. She handled Jubilee, I believe, and other communities in the past. So she's already been a part of our family. And she had already expressed an interest in not sitting at a desk and doing paperwork, but she wanted to get out. She made the mistake I made 13 years ago. I said, I want to get out. It wasn't a mistake, never a mistake. But, she wanted to also get out and learn the realtor community better. She already had a following, so to speak, because she was a realtor and she was in title. So she already has all of that in her back pocket, so to speak. So this was just a perfect fit. And as soon as it came out of my mouth, she was practically hired. I thought, man, I was replaced quickly.
Not replaced.
Funny how that works. Yeah, we all can be replaced, as the saying goes. Yes. We're talking with Tammy McCall, who's retiring from Johnson Development. If you've listened to the show, you've heard Tammy here through the years. But Megan Maloney is now going to be in the role. Well, Megan, give us some of the things. When you knew you were going to get this position, what were some of the thoughts that you had about this? Because it's going to be fun.
Yes, I could not believe it. So like Tammy said, I started at 19 years old in the title business, worked my way up, and then decided to become a realtor. I have a grandfather who was a broker, a grandmother who was a broker, and a couple of realtors in my family. So I've known nothing but the real estate business my entire life. And so when Johnson was hiring, I stepped in. And when this came about, I just could not believe that I get to take this role. But it is an honor to take Tammy's position, and I hope that I keep it going just as she has. If you have any interest in any of our events, we put on events all the time. You're going to go to Realtor University, Johnson Development, and we try to keep up with posting on there every 2 weeks, the latest events coming up.
That sounds awesome. Well, Megan, we're excited for you. Make sure you come back and see us here.
Absolutely.
And now Tammy has used her dog Chance many times. She has the cutouts of Chance, as always, which are comforting and exciting at the same time. I don't know how that happens. But now, do you have a dog that's going to help you in the marketing, or are you just going to, it's going to be all you all the time?
It's going to be me. You get okay. Megan Maloney. I have a lot of animals. I have cows, a baby right? cow, chickens, a pig, and 2 dogs and 2 cats. And the dog that I would be bringing along is a miniature dachshund, and she is wild, so we're not going to bring her. I'll post pictures on social media.
But you have a knowledge of animals, it sounds like.
I do. I do.
There you go. That's for another show. In the meantime, Megan, let's tell people the website for Johnson Development, because you have a nice map laid out of all the developments. So give them the website and then also your contact number.
Okay, you are going to go to johnsondevelopment.com, and then my email is Megan, MEGAN, at johnsondev.com. My number is 713-201-9747.
The phone number again is?
713-201-9747.
Well, all the best to you. Keep in touch, Tammy McCall, and all the best to you, Megan Maloney.
Thank you.
We'll see you again sometime soon.
Yes, I'm excited. Thank you for having us.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Here he is with Stewart Insurance, John Bramlett.
Howdy, Bill.
Well, here we are, John. What a show, huh?
It's been a great show.
It's always exciting. We hear new information each and every show with fantastic individuals.
Well, it is, and it's nice to welcome Megan into the family.
It's going to be exciting.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I mean, almost as exciting as insurance.
Almost.
So here we are. What do you have for us today, John?
Well, we spent the last several weeks talking about, a lot of personal insurance discussions and ways to look to see if you're properly insured or if you've got the right type of coverage, things to consider as we move into hurricane season. But I wanted to flip the coin a bit and talk a little bit about on the business side. So business insurance for real estate brokers and independent title and attorney agents, property management firms, and the idea of making sure that the coverage you have is written specifically for real estate.
Well, that's right. We have the realtor as businesses is sounds like it's very good for most of the realtors we're talking to, and it's even ramping up. So all the more as people get busy helping buyers and sellers, they can't forget there are risks, and to have the proper business coverage is so important.
Well, it is, and even more important than that is have business coverage with the firm that understands the industry. So we run across this quite a bit where businesses, whether they be an independent title and attorney agent or real estate broker, property management firm, they may have good coverage. They may have errors and omissions and general liability and cyber coverage, but often we find that it's not written specifically for the industry. So it's more of just a general policy. And the companies that we work with as an independent broker, they all write specifically for this industry. So if we're looking at an errors and omissions policy, the language in that policy is specifically written for a real estate broker or for a title agency or for a property management firm. It's not a generic policy, that it's specifically written for that. And it's important that you have that because there's nuances within that policy that separates it from a general policy and make sure that there's not any ambiguity about what is and is not covered.
Yeah, I think the important thing, too, is the associates at Stewart Insurance know to answer questions maybe that you or bring things up that you may not even know to ask, because Stewart Insurance is right there with the real estate community in a fantastic way.
We worked with a law firm recently that they had nice coverage, but it wasn't specific for a firm that dealt primarily in real estate. And we were able to show the firm that there were some nuance, there was some, I guess, some vagueness within the language, that there could be an issue with interpretation. We were able to find them a policy that was very specific for an attorney working with real estate so that we knew specifically what was and was not covered. And and from a premium perspective, it was in the same ballpark as what they currently had. So we were able to provide them not only value from a premium perspective, but a greater value from a coverage perspective.
That sounds awesome. So many great ways that you're helping people.
Well, it is. And, if you've got a general liability policy, so that basically does two things. It helps with personal injury or bodily injury and property damage. But you want to make sure that you've got a policy that's written specifically for real estate, so you know that things like open house are covered. So if you've got somebody visiting an open house and they were fallen to get hurt, you've got some coverage. Or if you were to damage the property while you were staging an open house, that you've got coverage there. But again, if it was just a general liability policy, not one that was specific to real estate, there may be, again, some ambiguity that may mean that you wouldn't have coverage, or coverage could be declined because it wasn't specifically written in the policy.
John, once again, you're reading my mind. I was going to bring up the open house because I believe it is now open house season. I'm seeing it in my own neighborhood, and I believe other neighborhoods. We've heard realtors talk about it. It is open house season, so you have to be aware of the risks that are out there.
Well, it really is, and we find two primary reasons why we want to make sure that our realtor and broker partners have general liability. One is if they have a brick and mortar location that they don't own, that many times the landlord will require coverage to protect them in case there's damage to the property. But you also want to have that to protect your business property. But specifically to open houses, you're exactly right that, with so many people going through, if somebody were to get hurt, you would want to have some ability to offset some of that exposure. Or if you were to damage somebody's home, or one of your guests were to damage somebody's home, break a vase, break a table, harm a television, whatever it may be, again, you have the ability to offset some of that exposure onto the insurance company, so you're not totally responsible for all the costs of repairs.
And I'm also putting myself right now at this moment in the part of the real estate professional putting an open house together. Right there's a lot other than worrying about insurance. Man, they have to make sure the signs are up, the house is right, the owners are leaving if they still live there at the right time, everything's spick and span, signage, all these things, so many things to think about. That's why it's important to have the right business insurance, the right coverage.
And the beauty is if you have that, then you don't have to worry about it.
That way you can
focus
on.
And then you can, like you said, focus on what's important, and that's either helping people find the right home or helping people sell their home for the best value possible.
Makes sense to me. In fact, around the room here, the real estate professionals are nodding their heads. We must be on to something.
Well, I hope so. That would be great.
So what are some of the other things we should be thinking about, John?
Well, again, it all boils down to this idea of whether you're a family, an individual, or a real estate business, the idea of being properly insured. And all that means is you're comfortable with the coverage that you have, whether it's the most robust plan in the world or a very conservative plan. If you're risk averse and you want to make sure that you've got most things covered, we can help you there. If you're just looking for catastrophe coverage where just something horrible happens and you've got coverage, we can work with you there. So the main thing is just understanding what you do and don't have, and as long as you're comfortable with that, in our eyes, you're properly insured.
Being properly insured is the goal for an individual, a company. And the other thing I'm thinking about here, John, is that as we talk to real estate professionals on this show all the time, it's interesting that I'm just a wild statistic I'm going to create and say 6 out of 10 real estate professionals have had real estate in their family,
yes,
in their blood. It is not uncommon. In fact, it's more common than not. Let that word go forth.
So is that the Knapik index?
It is.
I think we've just created.
We've
created the Knapik index.
It is, and let the word go forth. I think we're onto something once again.
We are. I think you ought to start marketing the Knapik index. 6 of 10 have real estate in their backgrounds,
exactly,
in their family backgrounds. All right,
that's right. And stay tuned. Next week we'll have the Bramlin Index.
Yeah,
so you think of something from that?
I will. We'll see something from HAR in the next couple of weeks making that same quotation.
No doubt about it, John. So what else should we know, and how can people reach Stewart Insurance?
So if you want to be properly insured, whether that be for your family, your home, wind, auto, flood, motorcycle, SUV, ATV, kayak, exactly. We can help you with that. As well as your business insurance, errors and omissions, cyber liability, general liability, workers' compensation. You can reach us at 866-798-2777. 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. You can learn more about us at Stewart Insurance at Stewart.com or email us at Stewart Insurance. Excuse me. The website is StewartInsurance.com. The email address is StewartInsurance at Stewart.com. 866-798-2827.
Thank you, John Bramlett. And now, Stacy Tierheimer, Business Development Officer in Fulshire and Katy, Texas. Just a quick word, Stacy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill, for having me.
Stacy Tierheimer. Not only can I say your name properly, but I could even spell it.
That's awesome. Not everybody can do that.
That's
Not
true.
everybody can
So,
do that.
quick word. What's going on in Katy and Fulshire with Stewart Title?
We have got some awesome events coming up. On April 28th, we have a headshot event. On April 29th, we have an inspection class, 101. May 1st, we have a win the listing class. On May 5th, we have a Mayo Margarita Monday event at the Katy office.
Are margaritas allowed on Monday?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Especially Monday.
On Mondays.
Yes. May 8th, we've got a Mother's Day event. And then on June 13th, we have something with Johnson Development. We're doing a
about that?
pickleball event.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Stacy, let's tell people how they can reach you. And in case they weren't able to write those things down, real estate professionals are interested. They can always reach out to you or look on your social media.
Yes. Stacy Tierheimer. I'm also Start with Stacy at Stewart on Instagram. And you can reach me at 832-392-2053. That is 832-392-2053.
Sounds good. Thanks, Stacy.
Thank you.
Now, from Fort Bend and Sugar Land, he brought Brad Countryman to the show here today, and we'll never be the same, Kevin Davidson. Kevin, how about this guy, Brad? He's good, isn't he?
He's a pretty amazing gentleman, isn't he?
Amazing guy, and he goes to the same barber shop as you and I do.
Yes, exactly. Matter of fact, he gave me the referral card.
How about that? So in the meantime, Kevin, what should we know about Sugar Land, Stewart Title, Sugar Land, and Fort Bend?
Well, what you should know, I guess it's coming up in the real near future, is April 23rd. We're bringing back, after a hiatus from the COVID years, the largest crawfish boil in Fort Bend County.
The largest.
The largest. April 23rd from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Richmond office. I've already got over 125 RSVPs this month in a week and a half.
And what day is that? Is that a Thursday?
It's a Wednesday.
A Wednesday. Once again, the date is?
April 23rd.
And if someone wants to know more about it, they could call you?
832-654-0527. 832-654-0527.
Kevin Davidson doing tremendous work right there in Fort Bend and Sugar Land. How sweet in Sugar Land, they say how sweet it is a lot, don't they?
Yeah, we discussed this last time I was here, Bill. Sugar was in Sugar Land.
That's right, the sugar
that's
company.
where it got its name from.
That's awesome. Kevin, the phone number again is?
832-654-0527.
And speaking of Brad Countryman Homes, well, Brad, here we are. Final minutes of the show. What else should we know about what you're doing out there?
We are out making a difference, just getting out, trying to help people. That's what we do. So a couple of things that we've got coming up, though. April 19th, again, is that Shredding Hunger event. So bring out your canned goods down to Keller Williams Southwest, right on 90 and 59. So we're right there. And then we are also having our it's not
Red
even
Day.
it's not even 90 and 59. It's 6 and 59.
But you have the Red Day coming up, too.
And we've got Red Day coming up, which is where we get out in the community. We're helping Neary's Promise.
I've got a
in
Red Day
North Richmond.
T-shirt from years ago, by the way.
Well, come on out and I'll get you another one.
All right.
I'll even pay for it myself.
That sounds good. Well, Brad, let's tell people how they can reach you, Brad Countryman, because I know they love the name and they love the area that you're serving.
Mm-hmm. So Brad Countryman, Countryman Homes. You can with Countryman. That's a good one.
I like that.
Yeah, TM. So reach me at all the socials, Countryman Homes. Reach me at countryman@kw.com, or you can call or text me 612-670-9920. Don't forget to check out my fireside chats on YouTube.
So give us a quick word. How long are the fireside chats, and what are we going to find there?
So they are now long form, but everybody watches shorts. So they're about 3 minutes or less.
That's just right.
It's perfect. Yeah.
I'm going to check it out. So if I go to YouTube, just put in Brad Countryman.
You can put in Brad Countryman. You can put in Countryman Homes. I kind of have a lock on Countryman.
You're working
right?
it. Yeah, you're working it. Okay, Brad. Well, we got that. Thank you. The phone number again is
612-670-9920.
Tell the family I said, hey.
You got it.
She's back, and she's more right. She's Dasha more right. What do you think about that, Dasha? I'm getting with the groove, right?
Yes, you're getting there.
All right. What else should we know?
Because you can't. How can I not be more right?
You can't not be more right.
That's what I say.
Or something.
Right. So you should know that Vaughn Realties is always out in our community helping serve the schools, and we're also putting on an event right now. We're collecting peanut butter and jelly for the Galveston County Food Bank, and we're going to do that through the end of April. So if you have peanut butter and jelly you want to contribute, just send it on down to our office in Kemah. And I would also like to say that two of my communities that I serve, Lomax and League City, were on the most loved communities on HAR last year in the top 10. Wow. So if you want to come out and look at our side of town, it's got a lot to offer, so give me a call.
Well, I'm glad you said that because it's been a while since I've been to Kemah or LaPorte, and yeah.
There's a lot out there.
A lot of places, if you're here in Houston as a Houstonian and you just want to revisit certain parts of the city, that should be right up on the list.
Yes.
Dasha, let's tell people how they can reach you.
You can reach me at 281-731-6181 or by email at Dasha, DAUSHA, at vaughnrealty.net. 281-731-6181.
Thanks, Dasha. And now she's on her own, all by herself, Megan Maloney. Okay, so I wanted to bring you back by yourself just for a minute, Megan, because Tammy's already in the car on her way to Oklahoma, looking in the rear view mirror.
Oh, no, don't even do that.
The radio station's just a memory. And it's you and me closing the show. Just you and me right now.
Just us.
It's over. Mm-hmm. We're winding down 54 minutes of real estate excitement once again because you guys were on the show.
Yep.
What else should we know about Johnson Development? And let's tell people how to reach you.
Johnson Development. So if you're a realtor, I would strongly suggest you come to some of our events, get to know other realtors in the area, and we're all about relationships at Johnson. It's not just about the South, the North. We're together with the realtors. So remember to always go to johnsondevelopment.com, and there is a Realtor University page that you will look at. In every event, Monica controls the north side and I control the south side. And any event that we have going on is going to be posted there. We have stuff coming up for Mental Health Awareness Month. We have so many fun things. I can't even think of them all. But go to Realtor University and get involved with Johnson.
Megan Maloney with Johnson Development. You know, you described all the animals you have at your house there at your farm.
Yeah.
Those are the basics of a petting zoo, it sounds like.
Yeah.
I mean, you could start that up.
Yeah, I often get asked to borrow our pig and our animals.
That's awesome. And you could call Brad. He might,
Yeah, Brad Countryman, yeah.
He can help you out.
Yeah, that's right.
Perhaps. So, once again, your phone number is
713-201-9747.
Megan, thanks for being with us.
Yes, thank you for having me. And shout out to Stacy with Stewart Title and Fulshire Katie
She's
for having us.
right?
She's amazing.
Maybe someday we'll get Monica on the show.
Yes,
so
we will.
That?
Yeah. An M&M show.
There
Megan
you go.
And Monica.
Sounds good to me. Megan, thanks for being with us. And thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. This show you're going to want to see on the video, I'm just saying, simply go to stewart.com/radio. That's stewart.com/radio. Be sure to tune in. Tell your friends. Every Sunday, we're right here at 5 o'clock, or go to stewart.com/radio. I am Bill Knapik. Thank you for joining us. On behalf of myself, John Bramlett, all of us at Stewart Title and Stewart Insurance, we appreciate you listening, and we will see you next week.